Good day. My name's Norman Murray and I work for Learning for Success. And I'd like to spend 10 minutes on the 7 benefits of modern performance management. Been in learning and development for over 25 years, worked with some great clients, including B&Q, Premier Foods, GlaxoSmithKline, Kerry, Connie, DHL and Lang O'Rourke, to name but a few. Your performance management has 3 basic functions. 1, to provide adequate feedback to each person on his or her performance. 2, to serve as a basis for modifying or changing behaviour towards more effective working habits. And 3, to provide data to managers with which they may judge future job assignments and compensation. The performance appraisal concept is central to effective management. Much imaginative work has gone into developing and refining it. In fact, there's a great deal of evidence to indicate how useful and effective performance appraisal is. Yet present systems of performance appraisal do not serve any of these functions well. You know, to win in the marketplace, you must first win in the workplace. And performance management will help build on your organization's leadership, trust, and communication. So what are the signs of poor performance management? Failing to recognize, here is just a few that we've come across. Failing to recognize achievements, hire or promote the wrong people, don't follow through on commitments, don't treat people fairly, tolerate poor performance, don't encourage development opportunities for growth, little or no feedback to help people affirm or adjust their behaviour. This allows people to get away with toxic, dysfunctional behaviours. Poor leadership, lack of communication, lack of trust and lack of direction. Don't empower team members, or worse, micromanage. The world has changed, and maybe your performance management hasn't. So what we're about to see is a quick video on trust versus performance.
I've worked with the Navy SEALs, and I asked them, like, how do you pick like the guys that go on SEAL Team 6, right? Because they're the best, the best, the best, the best. And they drew a graph for me, and on one side they wrote the word performance, and on the other side they wrote the word trust. The way they define the terms is performance on the battlefield and performance off the battlefield. So this is your skills. This is, did you make your quarterly earnings, whatever, however you want to translate it, right? Performance, it's traditional. This is, how are you off the battlefield? What kind of person are you? The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money and my wife? This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust, of course. Of course, everybody wants this person, the high performer of high trust, of course. What they learned is that this person, the high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member. And they would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet, and this person is more important than this person. And the problem in business is we have lopsided metrics. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance and negligible to no metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness. And so what we end up doing is promoting or bonusing toxicity in our businesses, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization. The irony is it's unbelievably easy to find these people. Go to any team and say, who's the asshole? And they will all point to the same person. Equally, if you go to any team and say, who do you trust more than anybody else? Who's always got your back? And when the chips are down, they will be there with you. They will also all point to the same person. It's the best gifted natural leader who's getting who's creating an environment for everybody else to succeed, and they may not be your most individual highest performer. But that person, you better keep them on your team.
So, what are the 7 benefits of modern performance management? One is feedback. Modern performance management strategies increase the frequency of feedback employees receive, whether it's quarterly check-ins, project-based reviews, continuous feedback, or frequent goal setting. When managers and employees are meeting more often, good things happen. Most organizations are faster and more agile than they've ever been before, and it's important that your performance management keeps up. Diverse sources of feedback. Modern approaches don't just increase the frequency of feedback, they also increase the sources of feedback. Downward, self, upward, peer, and external feedback all help to clarify the picture of employee performance. Employees are more to your organization than a relationship with one other person. Also, relying too heavily on a single point of feedback can make it hard to identify biased data. Smart goals and smart coaching. Feedback becomes action. Modern performance management is about results, not just completed forms in a filing cabinet. When you update your performance management approach, the discussion between a manager and an employee about performance is just the first step. You'll want a system that promotes smart goals and coaching along the way. Ultimately, the goal is to be driving meaningful outcomes for your organization. Outcomes that are relevant to your organization. When HR builds a modern performance management strategy, they cater to the needs of their own organization. Some focus on accountability, others on employee development or organizational alignment. It's no longer something you put on the shelf for vague reasons like compliance. This means that the outcomes are relevant to the goals of the organization and the individual. If a fast-moving organization with a flat hierarchy implements an organizational alignment strategy, they're doing so because it solves meaningful problems. A process that's relevant to employees. A classic complaint employees have about annual reviews is that half the questions don't even apply to me. When managers and employees realize the new performance management approach has been built for them and around them, they're far more likely to embrace it and it be encouraged to use it. Modern approaches also emphasize streamlined systems so that employees spend more time discussing feedback and less time administrating clunky systems. Better performance data. Modern strategies also focus on better questions that generate better data. The idea is to ask questions that they know the answer to. Modern approaches also rely more on qualitative data in addition to quantitative data in order to capture the nuances inherent in performance management. Number 7, more transparency equals more trust and more fairness. Ensuring performance is based on job description of the employee, centralizing and standardizing performance management helps keep conversations about performance open, relevant, and fair. If your organization is driving how performance is evaluated or recognized, you're less likely to have situations arise where managers are running their own systems that are incompatible to your values. So are you ready to make the switch? If you're looking to switch to modern performance management, the next step is to choose the approach that's right for your organization. So please do contact Norman at learnforest.com for a more in-depth conversation on how our cost-effective, tailored digital performance management can help your organization. Thanks for listening.